All right, welcome everyone to this tutorial video for the next version of the D3A. This version is the fourth beta version of the D3A, and we have just released it in March 2020. So I'll show you what's new in this release, and then you'll know what to expect. So in this release, we have added the ability to configure grid fees for each area or market in your grid. So in this example, I can add a grid fee for house 1, and I can include it here as a percentage value. And then I can add a grid fee for the area 2 market. We can make this one 20%. And so these percentage-based fees, it's a percentage of the trade price. So a trade will be settled inside the grid, and then 10% of that price would be paid to house 1, and 20% would be paid to area 2. And so these are configured as a way to pay the markets or the grid operators for their control and grid services that they have offered to the community. In the next release, you'll be able to configure this as a constant value as well, so you can look forward to that. Next, we have developed a feature that will prepare us for the Odyssey Hackathon that we will participate in. That is this June 2020. And for the hackathon, we have developed different user roles in the D3A. So we have the exchange operator user role, we have the researcher user role, and the DSO user role. And so new users, when they sign up for the D3A, will automatically be the researcher user role. And then in the hackathon, we have some stakeholders who are a DSO, and they will be the DSO user role. And at this time, we think just Grid Singularity will operate as the exchange operator, but we may also pass on this user role to other interested parties that want to look into the exchange operator view. And so the way this works is the exchange operator would create a grid and then would open an API to different devices in the grid that then the researcher role can apply to. And by connecting to the API, researchers can train and practice their external trading strategies. So the researcher role may use additional trading strategies that are far advanced compared to what we currently have in order to predict the prices and to create advanced algorithms and AI in order to participate in the markets and in order to come up with the best trading strategy for the participants in a specific market. So I'll show you how we're going to set that up for the hackathon. And we may also have ongoing collaborations or challenges that we pose to our research community. So our researchers will be able to maybe connect to ongoing collaborations or challenges that we have in order to participate and to start to research the outcome when you have different players introducing different types of trading algorithms into our market structure. So in this view, I am the exchange operator, and I've created this simulation. And so what I can do is take this simulation and convert it into a collaboration. So let's give it a title. And so now this collaboration lives in the collaborations interface. So I'll show you in a minute, but when you log in as a user or a researcher, you'll be able to see all the collaborations that are available to the research community. But first, as the exchange operator, I have made my simulation a collaboration, and then I will go into the simulation and I will be able to set where I want to allow different researchers to connect. So what I can do, so for this load, for example, there's a new side of the panel here called API KPI. So I can open this API, which means that a researcher is allowed to apply to operate this load and to trade on its behalf. And then there's also the option to set the KPI. So here we have minimize energy bill. And this is mostly just a notification so that during the challenge, the researchers and the hackers will know what goals they're trying to work towards. If they're trying to do something collaborative and increase the self-sufficiency or reduce the energy bill for a community, or if they're really focusing on the KPI of a specific device. So I'll set this, and then this label appears here. And then let's also open the API to the PV. On the market level, I can also open the API. And this API only allows a DSO to connect in order to change the grid fees. So during the hackathon and during other challenges, we envisioned that the DSO might want to change the grid fees of certain markets while the simulation is running. So that's a research topic that's open to us, and the DSO would be able to apply here. And then for the market area, I could set a KPI for this entire area, which would be, say, maximize self-sufficiency. So moving up, I'll open some more APIs here. And then let's connect these devices, also open their APIs. So as the exchange operator, I will set up my grid for how I want it to operate during the challenge. And then I go to the next screen, which is the registry and scoreboard. So in the registry, it allows the users to apply to connect to these different APIs. And then when I accept them, they will get an email that tells them how to connect. So in this case, I go to the registry, it looks good to me. And so I will make this public. And then next, I'm going to show you the view of the researcher as they apply to different devices. So in this view, I have logged in as a normal user, which is my Sarah at Grid Singularity account. And I can see on the collaborations page all of the collaborations that are open to me. And if the exchange operator had not made this registry public yet, then I would not have access to the registry. But now, if the registry button is activated, then I can go and apply to this collaboration. But first, I am also allowed to look at the modeling page. And here, I cannot edit anything in the modeling page, but I can understand what the grid looks like and which APIs are open in the grid view. And then I can also go to the registry page, and I can see where it says yes is where I can apply to connect to these different devices. So as a researcher, I can apply for a couple different devices, and then later I will see if I am approved. So now I'm going to take some time to apply to this collaboration through some different user roles, and then we'll see what it looks like from the exchange operator as they accept different users for this collaboration. Okay, so now I have returned to my registry as the exchange operator, and I can choose which participants that I will accept for these different APIs. So in the case of the grid fees API, the researchers are allowed to apply and the DSOs, but in this case, I would only accept the DSO for this role. So I'll click here to accept the DSO. And then for the other roles, I can accept and also reject different users depending on how I would like to set up this challenge. So in the hackathon, we'll do something similar, and for each user, as they are accepted or rejected, they will get an email with the information related to the decision. So now, as a normal user, I can see where I've been successfully registered, and where I'm still waiting a decision on my registration, and maybe one device that I didn't actually apply to. So now going back to the exchange operator view. So the exchange operator has accepted everyone that they wanted to accept. I guess here one more needs to be accepted. And then the exchange operator can start running the simulation. And when the exchange operator starts the simulation, then all of the researchers and the DSO that is connected will be able to start sending their bids and offers into these markets. And the results of those bids and offers, the trades and the strategies, will be evident in the individual profiles for the different devices. So we'll have some more info. You'll be able to see the results of the collaboration on the results page. And then we are also adding in the next release a scoreboard that also shows the different applicants that are connected to the different devices, and then some of the KPIs that we had mentioned, what those values are, so that we can compare the performance of different teams and also the collective performance of everyone participating as a whole. So that is pretty much it for this release. Of course, we have also done a lot of work to develop the backend side of the API. So in the backend, you can download our entire code base, and so you could also operate there as an exchange operator if you would like. It's just not available through the UI interface. And we also are coming up with some template strategies that can be used to participate in these challenges through the UI. So we plan, hopefully we can do another video that goes into detail about how the backend API is set up, and once you actually get the email that you've been accepted to this collaboration, how you could set up your algorithm in the backend in order to send your bids and offers directly through the UI during the challenge, and then also some information on what kind of data you'll be able to read through the API in order to determine what your trading strategy should be. So I'll leave it there. Of course, please contact us on Gitter if you have any questions, and yeah, we look forward to delivering the next part of this to you, scheduled 1 month from now. Thanks a lot.